So one of the biggest months of the year, if not the biggest month of the year, when most people want to make a quicker and biggest dent in their fat loss is, from all my years of experience, is January. Especially after Christmas, when most people have overeaten, drank lots, or both. They carry a bit more timber, a bit more body weight, and they want to get it off. And a lot of people, just because of that, they naturally are more disciplined with food, alcohol, or both. So what I want to share in this episode, and it's rare I do this, but just to protect your time and chop through it as much as possible, I'm literally going to read off exactly what I believe you should do if you want to accelerate your fat loss, basically have a fat loss sprint without a diet plan. The reason I say without a diet plan, there's nothing against a diet plan, and a lot of people generally are more inclined to follow a diet plan in January. But if you're like my clients who they travel even in January or don't like being on a diet plan, then I'm going to tell you exactly what to do instead. So if you get a pen and paper out, writing your notes, or feel free to message me on social media afterwards and I'll send you the notes from this exact episode. But do these things and I promise you, you will drop fat quicker. Firstly, body weight and pictures. Take your body weight and pictures every single morning in the month of January. Why? Nothing's going to keep you more accountable than standing on a scale, and you might not like the number on that scale, but what you pay attention to improves. And taking your pictures. Again, you're probably not going to want to take pictures of your body a week into January, but I guarantee you will eat better and less likely to eat shit if you are looking yourself in the mirror or a camera, evaluating your picture every day. Now, with our clientele, would I advise to do that year round? Absolutely not. Is it essential? Not for a lot of people, but when you are really trying to put foot to the floor over a few week period, then taking pictures of yourself every day and taking your body weight in the morning is going to make a massive difference and keep you personally accountable. And the next one is your training and weights. What to do. If you've listened to my podcast or followed me for a little while, you'll know I'm a huge fan of full body workouts. If you are trying to accelerate your body composition and fat loss in January or any period, I would do at least 3 full body workouts per week. Many of our clients do 4, but I would at least do 3. And I would do them upper body into lower body superset focused workouts. So I would literally, in every single workout of the 3 full body, or 4 if you can do it, I'd pick an upper body exercise, superset with lower body exercise, and I'd make sure within each workout, the upper body exercise, I'm doing a push for chest, I'm doing a pull for back, I'm doing a push for shoulders, maybe a 4th pull for back, possibly some arms, but I generally focus on the bigger movements. I'd do a push for chest, 2 pulling for back, and a push for shoulders, and I'd superset with lower body exercise, and I'd make sure I'd be doing a hip hinge movement like a Romanian deadlift or glute bridge, a squat or a lunge. You see where I'm going. So just pick the exercises, don't overthink it. And there's many examples that I can send you, and I've got many examples on YouTube, of course. But I do full body exercises 3 times a week. And then I would do 4 different lots of supersets for each workout. So what I meant, just as I've just said, if it wasn't clear, I'd do a chest into a low body. That would be 1 different lots of superset. And that would be 3. I'd do 3 rounds, resting anywhere from a minute to 90 seconds. Then the next superset would be a pull-in exercise into a low body. Again, 60 to 90 seconds rest, 3 rounds. Same with another back exercise. And the same principle with the shoulder exercise. And I'd use all 3 weights. So with the training, it'd be full body, it'd be superset focused, it'd be 3 rounds of each superset. And then I would, over those 3 workouts, I would do a different rep range with a slightly different tempo for each of the workouts. So one of the workouts for the full body, I would do 6 reps on every exercise, just to keep it simple, with a 4-second negative. So basically a lot slower reps. So you'd be going down in 4 seconds, driving up in 1. Okay, so a 4-0 tempo on the 6 rep workout. So say if you just said workout number 1 is 6 reps with the 4-0 tempo. Workout number 2, even if you did the same exercises, this would still work, but do a different rep range of 10 reps with a 3-0 tempo. So not too slow, not too fast, just a normal flow to a rep. And then the third workout, even again, if you pick the same exercises, do a 15 reps per exercise within that workout. So it might sound a little bit monotonous. It's not when you're doing different rep ranges with different stimulus, right? So many people overcomplicate workouts. It's untrue, and try and do 25 different machines, as I've said on previous episodes, get overwhelmed, and that's what puts them off in the gym or doesn't allow them to get the biggest ROI from their time in the gym. So I do at least 3 workouts, like I've just said, per week. There'll be no bro splits. There'll be no machines. You want to be efficient. You want to be in and out, intent, max effort within each workout. So just to recap so far, take your pictures and weight first thing in the morning, every morning. With your training, minimum 3 full body workouts, ideally 4 if you can. Doing 4 different lots of supersets within each workout, 3 rounds on each. So it's basically 24 sets total per workout. That should take you no longer than 45 minutes to an hour. And then different rep ranges per each workout. Do a 6 rep workout, slower tempo, then a 10 rep workout, then a 15 rep. I guarantee you will change doing that, and you will do more in less time. When it comes to movement, you got a couple of options, basically steps. If you really wanted to make a big dent in your fat loss, try and hit 105,000 steps per week, which is an average of 15,000 steps per day. If you are doing no cardio. So if you're someone who doesn't like cardio and just wants to create your output through weight training and steps, and you're trying to really increase output and create a deficit and lose more fat, then I'll turn the heat up and make sure you're doing an average of 15,000 steps per day, which is 105,000 per week. Or what I advise is doing 70,000 steps per week, which is an average of 10,000 a day. If you can also do 2 to 3 30-minute cardio sessions on top of your 3 to 4 weight sessions. So the more cardio you're doing, the less you need to overcook your steps, because you're creating more movement, and it's going to be with a little bit more intensity, of course, than just steps alone. So your 2 options for your movement on top of your weights is 105,000 steps a week, and look at weeks rather than days, in my opinion, because it's impossible to do the exact same steps every day. Or you do 70,000 steps, which is 10K average, if you are able to do 2 to 3 cardio workouts on top of your weights per week. Now, with your cardio, it doesn't really matter whether you do them on separate days from your weights or you tag them on after your weight sessions. It's going to be dependent on your schedule, your routine, and what you like to do. Then with food. Basically with food, only eat from this list of foods of proteins, carbs, fats, veggies, fruit that I'm about to share with you. If you do not want to follow a diet plan. Now, you might be thinking, how do I know if I'm eating too much, too little? For me, generally speaking, if people eat the right types of food and approximate quantities of food, especially when it comes to protein, by default, you'll manage your calories better, and it's a significantly more sustainable way, in my opinion, of letting yourself breathe when it comes to looking after your food. So with your food, eat 3 times per day. Doesn't matter what time you eat. The times you eat should be more complementary to your day, your schedule, your routine, and the way you want to manage your lifestyle. Whether you eat out or in, it doesn't matter. Just eat from the foods I'm about to share with you. So every time you eat, do the following. Eat 2 big palmfuls of the following protein sources. So basically take your pick from these protein sources. We have chicken breast, sea bass, cod, tuna steak, prawns, turkey breast or mince, whey isolate, whole eggs, egg whites. These are all examples of leaner protein sources. Aside from the whole eggs, and even then it's minimal, these are all proteins that have next to no carbs, next to no fats. So by default, you're going to be able to get your protein target in across the day, whilst also allowing for more room for carbs and fats and veggies, etc. But only eat from those protein sources. Now, you might be thinking, yeah, but I like salmon, I like steak. This episode is all about sharing with you the foods. Someone put a gun to my head, I wanted to get lean rapidly. What would I do and what would I eat? And these proteins would be at the heartbeat of that. Next, we've got carbs. I would have one big palmful every time I eat of the following carbs: oats, white potatoes, sweet potatoes, white rice, and brown rice. So these are complex carbs. I strongly advise that you have at least one big palmful, because if you undereat carbs, especially when you are having leaner protein sources, I guarantee you'll be starving. Okay, you're more likely to binge and overeat. And remember, this is key if you don't want to follow a diet plan. You have to operate with palmfuls, and it's imperative that you don't avoid eating complex carbs. So let me repeat the list. It's oats, white potatoes, sweet potatoes, white rice, brown rice. Which one should you eat? Eat the ones you like the taste of, because you're more likely to stick to it, that agree with your gut, that you don't feel upsets your stomach after you eat them, and give you energy, not just directly after you eat them, but you find helps you maintain your energy across the day. The reason carbs are so important, of course, is you simply can't maximize training intent and optimize your performance if you're not eating carbohydrates. This is why so many people who dodge carbs, especially at the start of the year when they're feeling like shit after Christmas, they inevitably binge and then give up, and then it's another year they've failed to achieve their goals. Don't avoid carbs, just eat the right ones and manage the quantity of them. Then we look at fats. Every time I eat, I would have half a palmful of the following: avocado, almonds, cashews. I've put 1 cow olive oil spray as well. Whether you're having spray or oil, just be mindful of the amount that you use. I think the reason why 1 cow olive oil spray is good to use is it can help you stay disciplined with the portion of olive oil. Olive oil is a fantastic food and nutrient, has great nutrients, great for the body, but it's so easy to overcook the portion. Remember, if you can't see the calories, which a lot of the time we can't, especially if we're eating out, and oils, they're often the biggest reason of why we are scratching our head going, why we're not as lean as we want to be, right? But choose from those. Then when it comes to fruit, with your fruit, eat 3 pieces daily, minimum. Okay, 3 pieces daily, minimum. I've put any. Because a lot of people go, yeah, some will be more acidic, some are higher in fructose. Most people who are struggling with their weight, shape, fretting about which fruit they're eating isn't the problem. It's probably refined sugar and processed food. So it still baffles me when people say, oh, don't eat fruit, it's bad for you. It's absolute bullshit. Most people are overweight is because they're overeating refined sugar and processed food, or they're drinking too much alcohol. So fruit is very hard for me to overeat on because it's got fiber and you have to chew it. Then lastly, veggies. Make sure you eat 3 portions of veggies daily. And again, I've put any. If you really want to nail it down, I personally say make sure that a couple of them are green veggies, your broccoli, asparagus, things like that. And that's what I would eat from. So just to recap, from the protein sources that I shared with you, every single time you eat, and I've said eat 3 times a day, have 2 big palmfuls from the list that I shared. With your carbs, have 1 big palmful from the list that I shared. Fats, half a palmful from the list that I shared. Eat 3 pieces of fruit daily, and have 3 portions of veggies minimum daily. Okay? And then as we move on to the next one, water. You notice I'm going through the core drivers. These are commonly known as water. Very, very simple. Don't drink less than 4 litres of water a day, minimum. For a lot of you, especially coming after Christmas, you might say, oh, that's too much. But if you're training 3 or 4 times a week and you're getting at least 70,000 steps in, or up to 100 or more, 100,000 or more, drinking water is absolutely pivotal to performance, focus, mood, and to curb hunger. Especially if you are really optimizing your food quality, you're going to get full quicker anyway, especially with water. Then lastly, second to last, is sleep. I sound like a broken record with this if you listen to me on previous podcasts, but I guarantee if you slept at least 7 hours every day over the next 2 to 3 weeks, 4 weeks even, if you really want to extend this, I guarantee you would eat better, you'd train better, you'd lift more, and you'd feel better. Because we eat our feelings, and we generally eat our feelings, especially when we're tired and we're stressed. And I'm sure if you listen to this, you don't want to kick off a year stressed, tired, and developing reactive behavior patterns, so early into the year. And the last thing I've shared, if you really want to, develop have this fat loss sprint in January, or any period really, avoid, and I'm urging you to go totally hardcore with this if you really want to optimize fat loss. Avoid all refined added sugar food, avoid all processed foods, and avoid, this might touch a nerve, drinkers, binge eaters, and unhealthy people. As I said on last week's episode, if you want to have a healthier year, or more specifically a healthier month right now, stay away from unhealthy people, binge eaters, and people who just eat poor choices on a frequent basis, because it's inevitable they will rub off on you. I promise you, avoid these types of people when you are trying to accelerate your fat loss, or your willpower will get tested. And from my experience, willpower, it's too hard to fight across a calendar year. So that's what I would do. Very, very simple. If you want me to share the notes from this episode again, please don't hesitate to drop me a message on social media, either on LinkedIn or Instagram, and I'll happily send it across. And these principles that I shared with you, I did a shoot last year for my 40th birthday. I just wanted to turn the heat up a little bit with my condition. And these are the exact principles that I used to go from very, very good shape, very low body fat, to ripped very, very quickly. And I've got the pictures to prove it. So I guarantee it'll make a big, big difference with you, and without the need to be on a diet plan. Other than that, thank you as always for listening, and I will see you next time.